Al tigu mi.
Al tigu b'mashiachai.
That's it. That's the answer to them. Don't touch my children. Yeah. What do you touch me around with?
It's a frightening Indian. Anyways. So I'll just share. I guess we're all here together. I feel that the screws are being tightened in the world. The Yidden and all of us have gone onto the front burner in the last, the Rebbe in 1990, 1991, the Rebbe was giving us the full intensity of the situation. The Rebbe is giving us the intensity, and the Rebbe is feeling it then, and we're all like, okay, And I think that, time passed, and we're a little bit fachulim. I'm not saying we're not doing great things, but we're a little daydreaming, we're fachulim a little bit. And the last year and a half, if you're not feeling the intensity, and it's getting, and as the time is passing, the things that are coming in such consecutive, quick, in things that are like mamish giving, and there's no way that anybody can chas v'shalom argue that this is not a direct communication from above to all of us. So the question is how not to get chas v'shalom tzetzt from it, but adarabah, to take it the way we should take it, and realize that Mashiach is about to come, and we need to rise to the occasion, to do whatever we can to, b'ashgacha pratis. I'll be moed mizvada. Baruch Hashem, I learn, I do this, I'm able to teach and so that. But the one weakness I was having recently, quite stark, was by the time I got to the night, I was so exhausted and so wiped out and so in the mood that I was kind of slacking off a little bit with my, let's just say, bedtime preparations for going to sleep like a yid. I was like, I've exhausted myself. So punkt last week, I just frightening words of the Rebbe that really, I hit on one of the gem videos, and I don't know, they put on a gem video about preparing for Mashiach. It's also beautiful to see the way things are changing, the gem, and everybody's waking up. It's beautiful to see. So I watched one of the gem videos, and they had 2.5 minute video. Simon Jacobson is speaking, this one, that. And in the middle, what is the Rebbe saying? The Rebbe is saying, as a Yid goes to sleep at night, he has to realize that a gate schlafen, and he's setting himself up, that if he wakes up tomorrow and his Mashiach is in his bedroom, he should be in a state to be makabel pnei Mashiach. And that hit me like, bang! What is the Rebbe talking about? Mashiach in your bedroom? You're going to wake up in the morning and Mashiach is in your room? What's Mashiach going to do? Why is Mashiach coming to my bedroom? But I don't know. That was my awakening last week. So for me, it's like, for me, it was an asidus that I got to go to sleep like a man, no matter how tired I am. And Mashiach in your bedroom. And I think that's the kudah we're holding right now. We have to all be ready and in a state that if we wake up and for the Rebbe to say after that, because if Mashiach is not in your bedroom, then at least you have a second or two to put yourself together a little bit. You can go brush yourself up a little bit, put on something nice. I'll say. But if you're waking up and Mashiach is in your bedroom, so you don't even have that the union of pisaim yavay alacholai, that the Eibishter Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to walk in on us on a second, without a second. And to use an illustration to that, I'm just thinking this tragedy in Florida, or the one in Midrash, and all these in Yanim recently, they're happening in a way that there was no expectation at all before it, and suddenly our entire focus and our entire existence is now caught up in a story that a minute earlier, no one was even thinking. And yet this becomes our occupation. So the notion and the idea that Mashiach can hit us in 1 second now is so unready. But I think Min HaShamayim, they're giving us a little zingers again and again and again. Say, Chevra, this might happen any second, and you guys got to get your act together. Those are my thoughts.
I think it's in Stolka. It says, if things happen one right after another, it's a sign that Mashiach is,
And if you add to that, it's the two things. They're happening one after another. They're happening, sadly, to the Dafka to Yidden. And they're happening, you can't blame the Freie Yidden. It's happening to the Frume Yidden. And it's hitting Chassidim as well. And not only that, it hit Lag Boimer, Shavuos, and the other one was Matzah Yud Gimel Tamuz. So, And someone pointed out to me, I'm missing out. There's two more in the middle that Baruch Hashem, oh no, one of them was horribly tragic. The cable car that fell down in Italy. And Dafka 6 Yidden should be on that. Van alle Menschen for the ganze Welt on a cable car in Italy. Maybe if it happens in Eretz Yisrael. And then the parking lot falling together with Baruch Hashem, no one was there. Oich anafila. Something is very, very chilly. But I believe that the answer is not to be lost. The answer is to be nisoided. The van is to be driven. I do want to share one little thing. Last week I had a nice story in Shaykh to the Minatzchim. On Thursday, someone put out on the shluchim by us in California that someone pointed out these three things. The three events that happened the last 3 months that were catastrophic. And he said, maybe we should make a kinnis that for the 3 weeks, Avos Yisrael, and so on and so forth. And I felt very strongly that at this moment, that feels like another band-aid for Golas. Of course, we need Avos Yisrael. We need Avos Yisrael. But that's like almost like looking at it as if a Gezeda happens and we have to daven, maybe we should remove the Gezedas. But I felt very strongly that this is not a Gezeda. This is something is happening over that's, it's essentially the Eberster shockled the ganze Welt. If you look at the globalness of COVID, you look at so I was very, I don't want to say upset. I got so I decided to write. I sent out. They posted on the Minatzchim. I wrote something about this. About look at the world shaking and quaking, and it's not a time anymore for band-aids. We have to now, do the Rebbe gave us a shlichus. Bring Mashiach right now. There's an emergency. So I had that thought, and I wrote this thing, but I'm always very uncomfortable putting out, stuff like as a verbistua baldeya. It sometimes it sickens me. I get so uncomfortable, and whatever. Maybe sometimes I'm a little too sharp when I put out things, and I got some not such good feedback. So I was worried. I was scared. So right at that time when I was writing this, someone had called me earlier in the week, and he asked me that he wants to come to my house. He wants to write a letter to the Rebbe, and he wants my help in interpreting it. So we made up that he's going to come on Thursday. I think this started already a half a week earlier. So he came to my house while I was middle writing this. So I told him, if you don't mind, and I was very intense. I just felt that it has to be answered now. So I told him, if you don't mind, can you wait 10, 15 minutes? I'm finishing this. So he said, no problem. He was sitting there. And it's interesting. I love when you can see the Eibishter gave him the Rebbe gave him this incredible answer to him. I'll tell you the story in a second. Incredible answer. But sometimes you see that dafka when a yid is lamayla matam v'das, he's zeichet the answers. What happened was he asks me while I'm busy writing this and I'm all tense. He asked me, Rabbi Wolf, he says, I went to the bathroom. He asked me if he can go to the restroom. He went to the bathroom. He says, "Oi, I forgot the paper, the settle in my pocket." When he went into the bathroom, but but before I actually went to the bathroom, I remembered. I went right away out. I put it out I have a laundry room there. I put it on the thing. Should I rewrite? And I'm thinking to myself, stop already. Come on. I go overboard. You didn't even go to the bathroom. You walked into the bathroom. But then I have to say, my own nefesh bahamas. I said to him. And then I thought to myself, he's rewriting it. I anyways need extra time. Let him rewrite it. So I said, look, you want to rewrite it? Rewrite it. So he sat and rewrote it. And then I think that I told him afterwards, I think dafka because you had such sensitivity. I'm sure that thing should not even go to the bathroom. Dafka because of that, you got an answer. Anyways, why am I telling you the story? We go over to the letters after I'm finished, I send it. And I was happy because I said, I'm not going to look at my phone because I'm not going to look at I was expecting that I might get some harsh answers. So I said, I'm not looking. I want to see if anybody's upset. If I ruffled any feathers, I'm leaving alone. And he went and he opened the letter and he brought it to me. I told him we both were standing and I was reading to him both answers. So the second answer was directly to him. It's a crazy story. He's a writer in Hollywood, he writes for Hollywood and stuff like that. And he wants to move to Eretz Yisrael, but his wife's uncomfortable. No, his wife wants to move to Eretz Yisrael. He's uncomfortable because of the chinuch of the children, and because whatever he was writing. And the answer is that Rebbe is writing a long letter to a writer, and the Rebbe says how much your writings are needed dafka now and in Eretz Yisrael, and the Mokim, whatever, and many other things. Was mamash an answer to all the things that he was asking. The first letter that I wrote to him, that I read to him. I realized that Rebbe is not, I don't know if it was to answer to him, it was an answer to me. The Rebbe is writing a long letter over there, how in today's days, it's not enough to open up a store and expect customers to come. You do business, you got to go out there, you got to hustle. You got to go out to the people. You got to do marketing. You got to do marketing. So the Rebbe was saying very strongly, you can't sit and wait people come to you. And then the Rebbe says, and I'm sure you'll take my words to this, you'll go out and you'll hustle. And then the Rebbe says, and I'm being mitzaref to this letter, the Maimer from the Yom Hilula from the past year's Yom the Hilula, and I bet you're going to share it with everyone. So I'm thinking, for some reason, when I was reading the letter, I was thinking the Rebbe's talking to me. The Rebbe's saying, you're starting a Minatzchim group, and we're doing very good, but you're sitting waiting there till people will join Minatzchim. You're not going out there. There's so many shluchim who can help so much. And I felt now that I went, and I actually put on this WhatsApp that I sent out to the shluchim, I didn't just complain that we have to do something for Mashiach. I actually said, we have a brainstorming group once a week. We need more manpower. Chevra, come and join. So I felt that the Rebbe gave me a haskama for going out there. But then I'm thinking to myself, the whole Minatzchim grew out of what? Of this year's Basei Legani, in which in this year, Hashanah, this year, what does it say? It's the whole sif about Netzach. And that's where we came up with the name Minatzchim. So I felt that the Rebbe sent me this is what we have to share. And I'm thinking just for now that I feel that we have to re-energize our group. We have to really, fire up the Netzach, fire up the Inyan that. And I believe there's hundreds of shluchim, and if they weren't ready yesterday or last week or a few weeks ago or whatever, because COVID didn't get them enough, and I think by now everybody's so rattled and everybody is so aware as that I believe that we need to really, really draft Chevra into this group, because we're working on one project, but it's not only one project. There should be many, many projects. It should be a real powerful this group where all we're doing is putting our minds and hearts together to what the Rebbe said, Shlichus Ha'achrim, and make it happen, because it doesn't seem like they're giving us much data anymore. Just a thought.
Here. Brilliant. I think that what you're saying is entirely accurate. I think we all of us have to go out and speak to the people we know, the shluchim we know individually, to look to then we go to the and we push them to be part of this group, a kind of re-strengthening of this, and obviously it's Nishkim Pashat Zach was Tutzich, and so everybody should recommit. I think we did this once, and I think we have to do it again. Think of a X number of fellow shluchim that we are pushing to join this group.
I mentioned to Mendy, Rabbi Rubenfeld earlier, that I believe that the meeting sometimes it's a fine balance. It's a fine balance of keeping it technical, where you want to focus on Ma'aseh B'Poel and on projects, but not everybody's involved with every project. So we make these Minatzchim, we talk only about one project that we're doing, and then others that are for whatever reason they're not in a position to be helpful in something like this. There has to be every time in Inyan of Aseidus. There has to be every time a part of this group, a part of this meeting that speaks to, and it should be from different shluchim. It shouldn't be the same people. It should be from different shluchim, things that are inspiring them, Mashiach energy. This is all we have to keep on. And I believe that the new faces that we invite, hopefully some will stick and will become weeklies and part of the group. That's the way it should work. So I think we had that in the beginning. In the beginning, we always had new speakers and various different people coming on and sharing. And then the thing is to keep people engaged. Just a thought.
Yeah.
This is what we did, as you said, this is what we did in the beginning. Every time we had at least two people who presented something, like an event that happened, etc. And I think this is important. Because otherwise it becomes like Ibig Avam Takashi.
Look, we're Beta Mitzarim right now. It's Minyana Diyema. Hilchos Beis HaBechira. This is the.
If I can share the Geschmackswort I saw yesterday, I made a short video of it. It was so reich talking about Hilchos Beis HaBechira. The Rebbe, so I started learning Rambam, Hilchos Beis HaBechira. So by the way, I want to advertise. I don't know if you guys have it. if anybody has the Rambam Amavur, it's from Chittin, it's gewaldig. So this one is actually on Avodah, so it's Hilchos Beis Abchira. So today's days they have such geschmack at Rambams. The other one also, Ois V'Hadar also gave a Rambam. You see, the Rebbe's and Yonim are taking off. It's amazing. But in any case, so it led me to this beer on why it's called Hilchos Beis Abchira. So the Rebbe says, why not Hilchos Beis Hamikdash? Beis Abchira. So Beis Hamikdash is more common. And the Rambam himself calls all the other ones Hilchos Kli Hamikdash, why Daf Hilchos Beis Abchira? So the Rebbe answers two answers. The first one, everybody in that Mikdash could change. Bechira is a double that doesn't change. That's one thing. Okay. The second thing that I found was such a reiche geschmack of art. The Rebbe says that Mikdash means that this is a holy house. It's holy, but it's not biyachas to anything else. Holy, it's a heilig. Bechira, the very notion of Bechira means that you have to choose it from amongst others. That means that you're choosing one from amongst. So all the others are in the equation, and from that, and all the others are in the equation, you're choosing one. So the Rebbe says, by doing that, you're giving a certain elevation to every bias in the entire world. You have every bias, billions of homes across the entire world. In the Rebbe is boichet eins. So the Rebbe says that means that we have to make every home in the entire world elevated, so that it can even get into the contest. Because if something, it's like contestants on the Olympics, who's going to get the gold medal. But everybody that goes into the contest has to be shot to the Olympics. If they're not shaykh to it, they can't get into it. So the Rebbe says that by saying Hilchos Beis Abchira, you're giving an aliyah to every single home in the entire world, every single bias, because now you're choosing one from all the others. The Rebbe says the same thing with the gate to Bani from Yidden. One of the reasons we have to spread Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach is because if the Goyim don't keep Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, they're not in the contest that the Rebbe says a boichas on Yidden from amongst them. In other words, they themselves have to be nis'ala. So now the Rebbe can say, and I'm choosing, and the winner is without Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, it's not Pera Adam. Then there's no Banu B'charta. There has to be nidmeh, some kind of a hisdamos between Yidden and Goyim. Now that they just okay. And anyways, anybody else?
You're bringing a stack. I mean, so apparently your mute button can't handle it.
Oh.
It's interesting because honestly, because thinking about Hilchos Bechira and the fact that the zusammenkommen, and I think Zdam was to push out the shluchim. It's always a challenge with kids, and we, this past week between Kenta Lasser over here, we had between school and camp, we had a Wachtzeit that kids are sitting home. And obviously, we're limiting the amount of time that the immediate thing should be to go and watch a video or FSSA. So we're trying to be creative, whatever it is. But the bottom line is, kommt the Zeit, the kids want to see something. So how to find something that's pasuk. So here, David, and it's from the effort to dig up the old Pashat, incredible archaeological digs they're doing. So one of the things they did is also they put out a series of videos. I'm just saying Stamaz because they call it under the name Megalim, and it's a very interesting, and for the most part it's mevusas on Tanakh. So it's let's say it's more al Taras HaKodesh than some of the other stuff that's out there in this regard. But one of them is on Beis Hordus, on the Beis Hamikdash Hasheni, because it's part of what they're uncovering and they're digging up. But there's an interesting point that they make of that the Hordus wanted to build this building, Shem Lucifaras, we know of Ben Butta and all the whole conversation there in the Gemara. But the bottom line is that it says the narrator is talking about it, how this became a project of all the Yidden. They had an incredible pride in this, and all the Yidden zusammengekommen to build this. And the numbers are mind-boggling. The size of this of the building. It's really it's even when you go there and you're there and you're taking the kotel, the tunnel tours and whatever it is. I don't know why it didn't strike me. I've been on those multiple times, multiple groups and whatever it is, but this, I'm watching the video and the numbers are mind-boggling of how big this thing was. We're talking about one stone weighing 2,000 ton or 6,000. It's a guzmas of numbers and what they managed to do and how exact everything is. And then, so they're building this whole thing. We're talking about really a project that is lo yuman, and it was built, and this I didn't know, in a year and a half. The entire project took just a year and a half. And it's mind-boggling because when you see the dimensions and what they had to work with the crude, that it took a year and a half to build base houses from the plaza, from the start. We're not talking about the base of English. It's from the beginning to the end, the whole plaza over there, building out everything. I mean, you should watch it just for the perspective of it. But the point was, how did they get it done? They got it done because all the Yidden zusammengekommen in this project. It was an incredible effort. Everybody, didn't make a difference, old, young, whether you were partisan, whether you weren't, everybody felt an achrayus to be part of building Beis Hashem. And this was the point, and it is actually documented in history that this was this point, that it wasn't something that was just the artisans and the laborers that were building it, but it was this project where all the that an aspect of Hilchos Beis HaBechira is the Inyan as Medaf alle zusammenkommen. Everybody has to feel the achrayus. Everybody. This is not something we can rely and say there's a specialized group called the Minatzchim. No. You're part of the Minatzchim, and if you're not part of them, you're already part of the Minatzchim because you're shliach of the Rebbe. And if you're not on this group, it's hayitachin. Hayitachin that you are not officially accepting this responsibility. Meboita the Beis HaMikdash. Boita the Beis HaMikdash. You're going to be the Yid that's not on the what's it called? No, like the Yud Shvat, the lead up to Yud Shvat after Dida Notzach. The Rebbe said there's going to be Faheren and there's going to be the Shemis. And if the names are not going to be there, we're going to understand what that means. This thing everybody has to feel an achrayus to be part of this building project. And if this is the 3 weeks has to be another clarion call to Mishpachas HaShlochim that this is. You belong on this group, and now's the time to sign up.
What about advertising in advance the speakers? Like,
yeah, we were doing that at the beginning, and we have to do that.
No, what I'm saying, like even like a few weeks in advance.
That's good. It sounds like we're going to become very, very, very organized.
No,
you're in charge of a few weeks,
and your passion of wanting to grow the group. Have the next month's speakers are going to be following people. It'll give.
And the speaker himself is going to have to know a whole month. He's going to think about Mashiach.
Oh, that's right.
Even before.
No.
You know, I just saw the story that I just saw. Who brought it? Did you bring it in Lev Mashiach? Who brought the story where the Rebbe said the Frierdiker Rebbe wanted to know what is being said about. He asked the Rebbe. He was asking the Rebbe, like the Rebbe was trying to raise himself out, and finally the Rebbe said, what are they saying on the street when the Frierdiker Rebbe came out with the Alta L'Tshuva, the Alta L'Gul? The Rebbe said, the Lubavitcher Rebbe decided that he's Etzch Gemacht Mashiach. He elected himself Mashiach. That's what the Rebbe said. So the Frierdiker Rebbe laughed, I think, and the Frierdiker Rebbe said, "No, Abim is already wegen Mashiach." So, so if we can get people to think about Mashiach for a whole month, because they have to speak about it, it's like it's.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right idea. I think that you're on it. And it would force us to make sure that we line up some chevra that are compelling.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I think they said that this is
I'm sorry, I interrupted. In the past, Rabbi Rubenfeld used to do that. Looks like he's busy. Who
And
wants?
he's busy. We have to diversify.
Let's divide the work. Who is willing to take next week? To find two speakers for next week.
Can we get, and I'm serious, I know this sounds like it's exploitive, but it's not, because we know what we're doing is Baharei Kodesh. Maybe we ask Rabbi Lipsker from Ball Harbor to come on and be Messiah.
Already.
He's already.
I'm sure that right now you can't even reach him. He must be over his head, obviously. So I don't think that we should reach out to him now because never comes on his
Shapiro, Mendy Shapiro ever speak of it?
No, Mendy Shapiro never did. Let's get Mendy Shapiro. That's good. I can call him.
I can ask Rabbi Mendy Shapiro, or you, Abel.
Yeah, good. Ask him. I can ask him or whatever.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
But did someone say they will ask him, or I can ask him? I'm close with him. But I don't know. I guess he'll use his wife's Zoom. I know he's not on Zoom. He's not on. Doesn't have a fancy phone.
So bottom line, who's asking?
I'll call him. I'll call him today.
So who is taking Achais for next week?
What about Levi Jacobson from Toronto? And he's a big he made the course for the Beis Hamikdash, the dimensions of the Beis Hamikdash. RLI.
You're sure that would be special?
He's a good.
Next week, Mendy Shapiro and him. There we go.
But Mendy Shapiro, I don't know. But Levi Shapiro, I think is going to need more than 10 minutes.
Levi Jacobson, you mean?
Levi Jacobson.
Okay, so let's have just Levi Jacobson. I'll have Mendy Shapiro.
That would be very nice to have the Shir and Yana Mashiach on Beis Hamikdash. It would be beautiful. Beautiful and timely.
Yeah. So Zosha or myself, we can either one of us can reach out to him because of the VAD.
We never use. You know who should be on this. You know who should be on this group, and we never even reached out to him. Rabbi Wagner from South Africa. I read one of his. So did I. Huh?
He's fire.
There you go. We need a little fire.
So
you know what? Let's. Sandy, you reach out to Rabbi Jacobson.
We have 3 weeks already, so now we have 3 weeks.
Okay.
Has he ever spoken? I know he's on the group, but has he ever spoken?
Who?
Rabbi Brisky. Who?
Brisky.
Brisky was the first week. He started up.
First week. He launched.
It's not Stam that. Rabbi Brisky needs to be on here every week, and for some reason he slipped out of my fingers, and he not intentionally. Somehow he was one of the founders of this group, but somehow one of the first meetings he couldn't join, and somehow he slipped. I have to call him.
Some of people that used to be very involved. What's the name? He was excellent.
He's excellent.
And by the way, somebody else who signed as part of the VAD, who was also be geschmack to here, and I think would be Alti Tenenbaum, who's also in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So who's speaking to
and
Shapiro?
I was very impressed. You know what else I was very impressed with? I was very impressed with Rabbi Perlmutter when he spoke on the Tut Alts. I didn't listen to many speakers, but I listened to him. He was one of the last, and he spoke of fire. It was very, very powerful, and he would be great. He's funny, and he's an inspiration. He's great.
So you have the list of speakers already. Everyone that was on the Tutalts is already a speaker. Is the list of potential speakers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll speak to Levi Jacobson.
So Sandy, I think so. Who we want next week? We want Mendy Shapiro.
Either one, either Mendy Shapiro or Levi Jacobson.
Okay, so let's see who is available between you. You call him. You call him.
Yes.
And then if you want, I can call Noam.
How long is this supposed to be for these guys?
I think 15 minutes. I think each person 15 minutes, and then that's it. You give the person enough time to give over something of Teichen.
Correct. And if they go a little longer, they go a little longer. But they go 15 minutes, and then afterwards, McKen, I think there's something nice about the organic open session.
So
on the Verbrengen, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
On the Verbrengen note, going back to this because I'm sure it's on everybody's mind 24/7 about what this frightening situation in Miami now. And as you said, like Boimer in Iran, Shavuos in
Yerushalayim.
Berlin, und nicht nur noch gewähnt an Covid also, da wir was schon vergessen in Covid, aber es ist noch gewähnt, aber es ist ein Stückchen Covid ich noch, right? And now, mit Tamuz, Chaim HaKodesh Yotzeit, that's what somebody told me this morning, ich halte mich für sie.
No, it's Tezvav, but Chaim is Tezvav.
Okay, so it was Erev.
Yeah.
I posted it that somebody, I got it from someone. All three of them, as I said, the falling of in Italy, the falling, all of them had one issue, crushing. All these events, Rahman and Itzlan, is aimed for crushing. And it's made. Who's that in the crushing? Kassis Lamoy. Ba'ata Tatzada. In Torah, that ain't not that with them Kassis Lamoy, das is Lamoy, the Maima Ba'ata Tatzada. Is it is quite obvious that the Rebbe is crushing us, but he's expecting that we should get the Jews out. We should get this oil out. The Shem is Isaac. Shem is Isaac. Das is good. Das is out the tzad. And I think it's important.
You're saying that the Abisha wants to get the Jews out? I agree.
Yeah. And he's definitely getting our adrenaline going, and it should. And it's Chaton Apachet, if you think about it. It's not something which is simple. But because to what you said before, that the Mashiach comes around in bedroom, I think we say about some Sefer, I think. And he used to sleep, he had his pajamas, he's given a capote with a regular suit. He had the same capote, he had the pants he wore during the day, so he had the same one, sleeping with one like this at night. And he said, Tama Mashiach, come to the midnight, but ich live in pajamas. So this which means this dressed like a man to Mashiach. I mean, that's the idea of nicht nur leben mit Mashiach, schlafen mit Mashiach. So now it's a hechere Dage. Nicht nur schlafen mit Mashiach. I mean, it's a reality. Anyway, if you want, I can report a step ahead, a little step further. I finally got hold of
Yes,
I finally got a hold of this Belzinger man.
Mm-hmm.
He went to a drive very practical. So do you realize all the politics that's going to go, all the politics that you're talking about? Yes, we realize, and that's why we want to keep it about politics. We don't want to have any organizations behind it. We want individuals. We're not going to the Me'etzes Gedoyla HaTorah, because that's an organization. We're going to some of the members of them who are willing. I asked them, all I'm asking from you, get me the Belzer Rebbe. He's very much involved with the Hidabrut organization. I said, I don't want an organization. I'm for sure going to want the Hidabrut to promote it, no question about it. But we don't want organization behind us, because then it becomes a political geschäft. We want individuals. It's Rebbe Yisrael to Rebbe Yisrael. From Rebbe Yisrael to Klal Yisrael. It's not a good as Yisrael. It's Rebbe Yisrael, get always against Klal Yisrael to everyone that's a part. And the Belzer Rebbe as the Belzer Rebbe, not as somebody who belongs to Israel. And the same thing is with all the others. He says, give me a day or two. I'm going to approach a few people. I'm going to discuss it. He likes that. He says, but he's also a businessman. He says, do you realize that you're looking at millions of dollars?
Tell him, als ik een gebouwd binnenbeest hoorde dus.
So I shared the story at one point many years ago, like a thank to like boiler parade, and I think most of us can identify with the story. I became very friendly with the local DJ, Director General of the local federation. He was an older person, the whole story, how I got involved with him, etc. Anyway, and once a week I used to learn with him. I think I told you the story. And one day he asked me, Rabbi, how do you budget in Chabad? I had a little bit of an issue. I didn't know what the budget the word budget means. To me, budget was a car rental company. That's what I knew from 770. I had no idea what the word budget means. Budget, crazy. But I couldn't sound stupid. So I tell him, Manny, why don't you tell me how you budget in the federation and I'll tell you how. I can make something up. So he says, yeah, with pleasure. Says at that time they used to raise at that time $30 million a year. And it says then what we do, we get the financial committee, we allocate each agency whatever amount they're gonna get for that year. We allocate a total of 90% of what we have of the $30 million. 3 million, 10% we put away for emergencies. That's how we budget. We Chabad, we do the identical thing. But what do you mean? Very simple. The beginning of the year, we're going to do this campaign and this project and this project and this project. And if we have 10% of the money for it, we're happy. The rest, the 90% is always an emergency. This is how we budget it. So he looks at me and he says, and that's why you guys are successful. And he meant it, because we are busy a whole day budgeting. You guys are busy doing, and then you're going to worry how to get the money, and that's why you're successful. Okay? So, with this campaign, with this Meister Zechazi, we don't have even 10%. We have nothing. We have to move ahead. And I told him, he asked me, but seriously speaking, am I getting involved in something which is God fantasy? I said, look, the feeling that we have is that if we're going to have 10 heavy hitters, we're going to have a Belzer Rebbe supporting it, and we're going to have Aguirre, and we're going to have Chaim Kanievsky, and we're going to have the guy from Lakewood, then we're going to have this one and this one, that they're going to put their names to it, then we can go out to have hitters and give money for those. Yeah, okay. Right. So this is where I'm up to with this particular guy. I just wanted to report further. I don't know if you have any further news from your sister. You have any further news from your good guy? Keep on forgetting his name.
So my good guy, I reached out yesterday and he didn't answer me. I think he's going to take this role this week, so I'm going to have to give him a pressure because he told me he's going to go. He can go and speak to the big gedolim over there. So I'm going to give him another message today. I was a little surprised.
And the Rebbe Resort at night when you're completely exhausted, then go knock at his door because he's also tired.
Yeah.
So you'll knock at his door and you'll wake him up.
Just a little thing in today's Rambam that maybe, I don't know if it applies or not. It's Perek Ches Halacha Yud. Nafla love ma pelis. It's not betela. So I need some in a place. In other words,
the Rebbe has a whole piece on Misha Nafla of Mapoilis, Safek Husham, Safek Einisham, the Retzach Pnimis in Yanim.
I mean, if it's that way, when I get the Zara in the negative sense, so Zicher can man sagen.
But in Hilchot Shabbos is euch da so the Mishnah sagt, mich mal mefakken alle. No, you let Hilchot Shabbos you don't chas v'shalom. You mefakken all of a sagal.
Right.
And so you'll continue working. So therefore,
yeah, the people that made my shidduch are unfortunately not are in the what's it called? Yeah, you probably know them from Montreal. Mistame Rabbi knows them from Tzvi, Iti and Tzvi.
Iti, I was together with Tzvi in 770 actually.
Yeah, well, they're shadchan for us. So it's Iti Bas Miriam and Tzvi Daniel Ben Yehudis.
I just imagine, think of this idea. With the Rebbe kind of the Macher haben wir gesagt. Imagine suddenly we find all the Yidden Lebedekeret. Won't this be a precursor of the image of Tchias HaMesim?
I'm kommt raus from there.
I'm geht raus, Mamish. This is the Rebbeinu Shalom. Here I'm giving maybe a little idea, suggestion. A suggestion, not an idea. Here is an idea that what you can do.
Okay, so what we're going to do in the Minatzchim is that we're going to take your idea and make sure that it doesn't go into the suggestion box. It goes into the Eibishter's hands, mamish. Azor is a latest lane, and not in the suggestion box. Okay.
Yeah. That was today's Rambam. Today's Chumash also talks about the ledge. It talks about them. And there's all sorts of ways they should just make it happen, but we should see them very soon.
Let me just put it this way. It would be nice to see something nice this year.
Amen. Yeah, we need it. Okay, shukayach.
The nice poets. Heske Dobrovsky has beautiful stories in the Yiddish Heim, etc. I used to be a big fan of his. And in Zentra Meise. Aber Poritz hat sich eingeladen bei jedem auf der Seder. Dachte, the Poritz vom Seder, we have Kaporitz. But he can't say no to the Poritz. Right? And the Poritz enjoyed it. Das, the Matzah, the Mother. Even the Mother enjoyed it. They liked the tradition. Jetzt kommt zu Lashon Haba Yerushalayim at the end. What is he going to tell the Poritz? What he wants to leave here to go to Yerushalayim? The Poritz said to the Van Broiges. So he says it. So what does it mean? No, say, you're ready to give up? Leave me to go to Yerushalayim? So today, du kommst recht mit. You're going to get a bigger. You're going to be a bigger Poritz. No, I'm asking. Poritz left. Happy Bosheb Torani und fertig. Help the Rebster. The following year, kommt schon weiter. Anyway, Akitze, sie kommt schon weiter, Lashon Haba Yerushalayim, mit einmal sagt er, Rebbenische Leilem, sie passt schon nicht für einen Poritz. Sie passt nicht für einen Poritz, mach es schon. Passt schon.
It's a good one. Yeah.
So this is where we're holding.
I'm in Cambria only 18, 19 years, and these Israelis are saying, Rabbi, you've been telling us for how many years Mashiach's coming? Since you came here, you've been telling us Mashiach's coming. What's going on over here? You know, it's like you walked in and you said this when you walked in.
The way I read the story was that similar Russian is, you know, Mela does and this, aber wusselig zoek ich schäm sich schon für ein Poritz. Schäm sich schon für ein Poritz.
Good.
Aber man darf sich nicht schämen. That's I think that we have to be careful. Sometimes we get intimidated by it. I say it again, I say it again, I say it again. Come on, enough is enough, right? No, no less when the lady is overdue, you're not going to tell her, look, you know, you're not giving birth anymore. You're a month overdue. That's it. You're not giving birth. Good Shaila, the Shailas are good. The Shaila, as the Rebbe told his eye doctor the famous story, right? Well, we all know the story, but the eye doctor asked the Rebbe, I've been traveling all over the world. How come, and I see the good work all your Chassidim are doing, Shluchim are doing. How come Mashiach is not here? The Rebbe said, and I have the same question. But the Rebbe added, and therefore I don't let my Chassidim sleep.
So interesting. I saw today from Rabbi Benjamin Klein at the Mofabrach, and he was saying that from what he witnessed, there was never ever a thing that the Rebbe said was nicht mekui. Sometimes it happens right away, sometimes a week, sometimes a month, sometimes during the Chadashim. But there was always. And then he said that one time there was this fellow walked by the Rebbe and he asked him for dollars. He said, I used to stand on the side and at the bet the Rebbe abrocha for kinder. And the Rebbe said, Bekarev. And he said, the Rebbe, what means Bekarev? So the Rebbe said, no, staft sich do in the 9 Chadashim. And then 9 months later, there was a baby. So anyways, I'm thinking to myself, as I thought there wasn't one thing the Rebbe said that was not Mekuya. And here you have sichus upon sichus and haftachis and in non-stop. I mean, if I like it or I don't like it, if I want to, if I don't want to, I have no breda. Once a week I teach the Dvar Malchus in Hebrew, so I have to learn it really well to a big group in Eretz Yisrael. Mata Mashiach has me give a shir. So, the whole week I learned it a few times. I'm a learn no knowledge. The Buddha, what the Rebbe said, and how the Rebbe spoke, and the imminence of it. Not like saying, you know. So the
Rebbe's question this week: Dikem ezogen machta Eretz Yisrael. When we're talking about the Gula is coming any minute, what's machta Eretz Yisrael? The Gula is about to come. You're making Eretz Yisrael over here. Seems like it doesn't surpass the whole statement. That's the question. question is also. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Thank you.
Noch a little quetch, noch a little push, and Bezras Hashem with her.
Amen. Amen. Take it from Yad Mamish.
Amen.
Thank you.
All to you.